So hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me on a proper adventure and we're bankside in search of the unknown. For you guys that follow the channel week in, week out, you know that my drive in my fishing is what's around the next corner, finding those spots out of the way and the adventures of fishing. So the swim behind me did not look like this about half an hour ago. As you can see on screen now, it was a wall of Himalayan balsam, nettles and prickles. Half an hour's work, and as you can see we've cleared a peg, so it's safe to say that if we catch any fish today, they're definitely not going to have seen an angler in a while. As you can see around me, the Himalayan balsam is head high and it's been an effort to get to the swim, but hopefully today effort will equal reward. So as you can see on screen now, that effort this morning to open up the peg has really opened up a lot of opportunities. You know, we could fish this peg on the float, the feeder, if you wanted to fish the whip, all possibilities are open. But today we're going to concentrate on fishing on the feeder. So as you can see on screen now, the first job that I've done when I've got to the peg is mixed up the ground bait. It's always the first job I do, and as you can see on screen now, the mix that we're going to go with. Let's take a look at the swim, the side tray, and how we're going to approach it. Now, one thing when you're going through the undergrowth, you don't really know what's going to be at the other end. The only thing you hope for is a bit of flat banking, which we've got. Now looking at the swim, you've got some reeds to the right. You can see the flow just coming off a little bit of a bend, and we're going to start off down the middle on the feeder. And if you look over there, there's just a bit of bare bank and clipped up. And see, hopefully it's just Mr. Bream with the better fish that we'll get. I'm just going to keep aiming for that, so I'm going down the same hole. But yeah, what a beautiful little swim. Got everything. You've got slacks over there, they've missed the pikes in the river, and if it's up a bit, you know, you could put a feeder behind that. It's lovely and slack over there, and today it's just got a tiny bit of colour from the recent rain, and yeah, it does look in good condition. So hopefully we can get one or two bites. So with the peg set up, you can see now the ground bait is ready. You can clump it together like that, but it breaks up completely. In this mix here, we've got a bag of the bag up ground bait from Hinders. We've got 2 bags of crumb, a full bag of micro pellets, and about 3/4 of a tin of corn. So setup wise, the rod that we're using is the Quorum all-rounder quiver, and in the top I've got the 2-ounce tip. I've got the phase 1 reel, and on there I've got 6-pound line. Down to the business end, I've just got a little feeder on a running loop with one of the Quorum feeder beads, and what that allows me to do is just change the feeder really quickly if I want to put more bait in. But with it being quite a deep swim, I've picked this feeder so it gets down to the bottom and then releases. Not pushing the ground bait in too hard, just gently pushing it in. Got a couple of knots just to push the hook link out. And I've got a 4-pound hook link, and on the hook I've got a piece of corn and a maggot. It's as simple as it comes. So just clipping up, aiming for that clear patch on that mud there, feeling it down, just putting the rod on the rod rest, and then just tightening up just nice and lightly to the tip. So with just a piece of corn and maggot on the hook, and just filling the ground bait with a few maggots and the ground bait. So just starting off on the feeder and just putting a little bit of maggot and hemp down there on that inside line, and yeah, corn and maggot on the hook. About the 4th cast and the rod's just gone round. Nice little skimmer it looks like. The first bream of the day just coming on that feeder, and an excellent start to the video. So when they say effort equals reward, you've seen the effort we've put in today to make the peg. The very next cast, and it's gone round again with another skimmer. And as starts go, just couldn't get any better. The very next cast, gone round again just on that sweet corn and maggot combo. Bream number 3. And the hope today was to fish the stick float a little bit, but when you're getting fish like that on the feeder, it's very hard not to stay on it. So the beauty of having a separate bowl for your ground bait is you can have that base mix that we seen at the start, where we put in that pellet and bits of corn. You see there the tips just bouncing again. But what it really allows you to do is control the mix with the hemp and the maggots, and just control just how many particles you're putting through, and keep an eye on it. And you can see there plenty of bubbles in the swim, and that tip just bouncing away. There we go. You see there, didn't have to wait too long for the bite to develop. That's Bream number 4, and he's decided to jump clean out the water. And being a river, they're not like your normal bream, they don't half fight. And yeah, really is nice to be out on the feeder. It's not something I do a lot of, but I do enjoy it when I do it. With bream, you just want to take your time. Notorious for the hook pulling and losing them can be a disaster, so yeah, I'm going to take my time and try and get him in. And there we go, bream number 4, and yeah, starts to a session goal like I said, really good one, and could be on for a very good day. Just hope that sun doesn't come over the yard arm onto the water, and hopefully we can get a few more. Let's get it straight back. So I don't know if you got that because I was just fixing the GoPro on my head. But that, yeah, a proper bite. So hopefully my hand wasn't over the lens. It probably was because I was fixing the lens on the camera. But yeah, just keeping on putting the bait down this inside line on the hemp and maggot. But yeah, down the middle on the feeder is most definitely the way to go. And space on the peg is confined today because, like you seen at the start, we've only just put the peg in. But yeah, absolutely mint condition. I think that's number 5. Excellent start to the session. So it's safe to say there's 1 or 2 fish in the swim. It's absolutely like a cauldron out there. Fizzing away. And yeah, definitely 1 or 2 fish coming to that ground bait. So tactics wise, just going to keep on doing what I'm doing really. Just little and often on that feeder. And just keeping on putting that little bit of maggot down there. I put a ball of ground bait down before. You can see there, plenty of activity on the tip. He's on. You can see definitely 1 or 2 fish down there. Hopefully you could see there, it's just bouncing away. And then just that more confident pull. And the fish is on. Sessions like this, when it's going like this, are pretty hard to explain because like you see, it's just a bite of chuck for nice sized bream. And they're a bit like chub. The key is getting them all in, not losing them, and just keeping on doing what you're doing. See, there's loads of fizzing down there now, so there's definitely more down there. And that seems a slightly better one. And yeah, lovely fishing on the feeder. Let's get it straight back. And there we go, the best one of the day so far. I'd say not the easiest swim to hold them up in, because like you've seen, it's only been cut in today. But over time, we'll definitely be back in it, and it'll definitely get more comfortable. But yeah, what a session. And it gets to the point where it just starts getting a bit silly. That literally hit the bottom, and the tip just carried on going. Absolutely crazy fishing. And yeah, the type of fishing that I love, you know, where you're out there on the river, and that's the beauty of it. So fishing most definitely is a journey of ups and downs. The vlog just shows that, and we're definitely having a lot of ups at the moment. That PB tench, we had that chub the other week, and today we're having a red letter session for Mr. Bream. The good thing about today, hopefully it shows that effort does equal success. You know, getting the peg in, getting the tactics right, and yeah, they're getting bigger and more frequent. So it had just gone really slow and just changed to the feeder that you can see on screen now, that Zeppelin feeder, just a bit more bait, and I was literally just going to pick the rod up to reel in and just have a go on the stick float and rest it, and the tip pulled round. Literally 2 seconds later I'd be fishing the stick float. So another lovely conditioned bream, and yeah, had 1 or 2 fish this morning most definitely. And when the fish are that type of calibre, you don't mind waiting for one. Lovely seeing the tip go round and that jagged fight that a river bream gives you. Been great fun today. So with the rain coming down, catching bream on the feeder, great fun. And yeah, when you're getting bites you don't feel that rain, do you? Great to be sat by the river, just seeing that tip bounce round. And these river bream do fight a bit, you know. When the flow gets up, these have got to go against it, so they're quite different than the ones that are in the lake. But yeah, great fun. We'll get it straight back. So we're a few hours into the session now after that frantic start and that little go on the stick float. We had a few more bream, haven't we? Has slowed down a bit, getting the odd indication on the tip and just keeping on casting, you know, a bit further down the swim and further across, and feeding a bit of hemp over the top, just trying to make something happen. Hopefully we can just pick up 1 or 2 more before the end. So it's taken a while, but that's bite number 1 of the 1 or 2 we were hoping to get before the end. And I say just chilling out, leaving it a bit longer on the cast, and eventually the rod's gone round. Always good to end the session with a few bites, so hopefully we'll get this guy back, and fingers crossed we can get 1 more. You'd always want 1 more, especially when that tip's bouncing over. So just by feeding some hemp over the top, we managed to hook into hopefully number 2. Just going to concentrate and just try and get him in because it does feel like a decent one. Just holding deep. Fish number 2, and a lovely fish to end on. I'm going to have another couple of casts. There's about half an hour of the session left, so I'll pop some pictures at the end if we have any more, and then I'll join you at the end of the video where we'll look at that final net. The session does come to an end there now, and at the start of the vlog we did wonder whether the effort of making the peg would equal reward, and it most definitely did. As you can see on screen now, we've had a nice net of bream on the feeder. I think it was 15 in total. So those nets of fish are always difficult to photograph, so it was just a quick photo and then getting them all back. I really have enjoyed today, and hopefully it's shown that you can get out there into the unknown, and effort definitely can equal reward. I really do hope you have enjoyed this adventure today. If you have, please leave the video a like, and if you're new around here, subscribe to the channel. And the only thing left to say is to wish you all tight lines in your own fishing, and I'll catch you all next week. Tight lines.